first ever time recording a podcast in the morning.
So early.
You know, I would like to introduce everyone to my morning voice.
Whoa.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Early edition. We're getting a podcast in pre-vacation. We're going on vacation tomorrow.
That's huge. Where are you going?
6 days off. 6-day vacation. We're going to Sweet Home, Alabama. This is our third summer in a row going to Alabama. Have you guys ever been to Alabama? Studio audience?
Never.
There's 3 people. Studio audience.
Huge studio audience.
We're going to Alabama. We're actually flying out tonight. We're gonna go. We'll stay the night in Nashville, and then drive down. I cannot wait. And it was important to me that we let's record a pod.
Yeah, before you go.
Do people call them pods? Is that what they refer to them as? Pod?
I think so.
You know, I've been listening to this new pod. What's it called? Smartless.
Not sponsored by Smartless, but
Yeah, I saw this morning. I saw that Chris Pratt was just on Smartless, and I was like, I gotta listen to that episode.
on the plane maybe.
Smartless, I think, is an incredible podcast because it's funny. I love listening to funny people.
Yes. Okay, we have a podcast. There's a podcast there. Are we like co-workers? What would we call it that?
Who?
With other podcasters? Just all of them? All podcasts? Are we
right.
coworkers?
Like, is there a union?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I see other podsters, I'm always like, hey, how's your pod going?
Look, I feel like I could be wrong. You see another gentleman in a minivan, you give the head nod, don't you?
Absolutely. I'm like, I respect you.
Yeah, you can tell a podcaster when you see him.
Yeah, there's only few people I know that have podcasts. Let's name them. Tanya, that comes to our church, she's won multiple awards for her podcast. You know that?
Yes, and she's LLI alum.
She is one of our first guests on Leadership, LLI alum.
Are we calling it that?
I don't think that's the right terminology. No.
Past guest.
A guest of ours, yes. She's won multiple awards. Who else has a podcast? The great Daniel Floyd.
Yes.
John Maxwell.
Of course.
Has a podcast.
Who
else do we know that has a podcast? Not a lot
Craig
of people.
Rochelle.
Craig Rochelle. These are all people that I'm like shocked that we do know. Still.
Yeah.
So just like I don't want to throw their name out.
Yeah. I've been
My
listening to
friend
these
Craig
podcasts forever.
Rochelle. It's like, yeah, he gets 500,000 downloads per episode, buddy. So how's that?
Well, I say that because he's coming up on an episode.
That's right. In just a couple weeks.
Yes.
That'll be fantastic. We love Craig and his biceps and his triceps and his pectoral muscles and his, what do they call these ones up here?
Traps.
Traps. I don't know.
The traps.
Yeah.
You seen that nunchuck video he did on his Instagram a while ago?
No.
He's getting ready for church and just
With
doing nunchucks.
Bro, come on. What are we doing? He's got this guy. It wouldn't surprise me if he's like, yeah, service starts at 8:30. Rich does this too. Does Rich have a podcast? He does leadership with Rich, but I don't think he does a podcast.
He has a YouTube channel.
Oh gosh, he's had a YouTube channel for 15 years. Of course he does. He is like mastered YouTube. When I get around, I'm like, teach me more about YouTube.
Yes.
Of course he has, but I don't think he has a podcast.
I don't think so. Yeah.
By the way, do you like how I love saying it? Podcast.
A podcast.
But Craig is the kind of guy I think he like works out at 6.
Into church.
Outfits ready.
Yeah.
Into church. Maybe some egg. It's a total Rocky Balboa vibe.
Yes.
He is just perfection.
It's actually incredible.
I love him so much. And I am thrilled to have him on Leadership Lineage. Okay. Today we're talking, by the way, little product placement just right
Boom.
here.
Yep, right there.
We're 3 weeks away.
Wow.
This thing comes out in 3 weeks. Worried about everything because I pray about nothing.
Whoa.
How to live with peace and purpose instead of stress and burnout. I'm leaving straight from here to go finish the audiobook recording.
Right.
If my voice does sound like morning voice, it's also because I was in the stew all day yesterday. Like, what are you?
And here we are again.
What are you, Lil Durk? Are you Mace the Rapper? It's in the stew yesterday. Yeah, But you were doing an audiobook, brother.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, okay, man. You're a long way from champagne poppy.
You
okay?
had a throat coat in
Yeah.
your cup.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course I did. Of course I did. So I want to encourage everybody, buy a copy for your whole team. I'm asking churches to go through this, youth groups. Buy a bulk order. Just even reading it in this stew, I'm like, man, we need prayer. And this thing I'm most passionate about this book above any other book I've written.
Wow.
I can't wait to take our church through it. It's just unbelievable, the power and the potential of a prayer life.
I feel like as you went through the process of writing this book, there's been an obvious change in your even demeanor or countenance. It's like maybe less tension. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. But
of course.
Yeah, you can tell that as you're processing this, it's doing something in you.
And it part of the first part of the book I was reading yesterday is like prayer changes things, mainly you. That's what I love about prayer is that, in the first section of the book, we talk about all the P's of prayer: the presence, the power, the purpose, the peace, and the premise. All of these is really, really good. And but the peace that comes, which is like the situation didn't change, but now I have peace about it.
Yep.
My perspective has changed.
Wow.
And maybe, I saw it through the wrong lens. And that's maybe what you're saying is that like you get tension about people, about things, about money. We all have worries. We all have stress. We all have anxieties.
Yeah.
We're all overwhelmed,
Totally.
every one of us. And so what really washes us of that is his presence. So we don't worship prayer. Life is not about prayer. Life is about, in my opinion, God.
Yeah.
And the purpose of prayer is really just to get into his presence so that he can give me better perspective. I can have a better premise towards my situations. So the whole thing I'm really excited about it. August the 2nd. It's a Tuesday, guys.
Whoa.
Tuesday, August 2nd. Where will you be? You'll be here in Los Angeles? You'll be she said internship. How do you know you're an intern? Well, I'm at the church at 7 a.m. recording a podcast. I will be, the day that it comes out, I'll be in Sarasota, Florida.
Wow.
At Bayside Church, the great Randy.
You're doing your tour.
There's no tour this time.
kidding,
I wish there was a tour. There's no tour, but I will be there the day it comes out, and I'm just really excited. Okay, today we are jumping in S's for the summer.
Ooh.
We give 7 S's today.
All right.
Maybe I got this idea because we changed our 7 o'clock service.
7 is for, yeah.
7 for the summer. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to run through some S's. Just some important S's that you need in your leadership this summer. Number 1, self-awareness.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Self-awareness is that thing. I always think, as a leader, there's the way that God sees me, there's the way others see me, and then there's the way I see myself. And I think self-awareness, self-view, and I got to be careful with this because LA, it just gets swallowed whole by self.
Yeah.
True. Self-care and the whole self thing.
Self-help.
But I want to just acknowledge tension here because I have to have self-respect. And I have to love myself. Otherwise, I can never love my neighbor. But I think that there has to be self-awareness. As a leader, I need to be aware. How do I come across? How are my words being interpreted? How's my attitude? How's my physical posture?
Right.
For the 4th of July, we were hanging with some people, and I just keep thinking in my head, don't talk too much. Hey, ask questions.
So good.
Hey, okay, you've had your turn. Give them their turn. Just be aware. I always think that what are the filters of a leader when you're in a conversation, when you walk into a room, when you're on stage, whatever it is, just think everywhere you go. When I walk into a Starbucks, it was amazing. Sunday, we didn't do Sunday night church. And so we got invited to this amazing beach club with some friends of ours. And I walked in this scenario that I'm like, where am I? I feel like I was in a movie in LA. Like it was this unbelievable. And this guy walked up to me and he was like, hey, I know who you are. I follow you on Instagram. He's like, he said to me, I can't believe you're here. And I looked at him and I was like, me neither. But I was just like, before he said that to me, I was already self-aware. I know who I am.
Yeah.
People are watching. Like I was thinking, when you go to the airport or you go to a restaurant, people might not walk up to you and be like, I know who you are, but you're sending out a witness. You're sending
Totally.
out a signal. And so I think whether it's, in a relationship you're very comfortable and familiar with, to strangers.
Yep.
I need to not just have God's view and others' view. I need to have a self view of going like, how am I coming across? How am I being interpreted? And is this the aura? Is this the moxie? Is this the vibe that I want to be sending?
Right.
And I think leaders that don't have self-awareness, I think that we do things that sabotage our reputation, sabotage our future, because we're just going and we don't care.
Right.
So to me, there's a self-efficacy here. There's an ability to be aware and to be in tune and to understand the fragility of others, but the fragility of self. It's totally being grounded.
Right.
And I think that arrogance bypasses.
Totally.
Pride is just like, I am who I am. I do what I do. Enjoy who. It's like, nah, man. Like, I think that life is not about us. If I really want to serve others, I need to be aware of who I am.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's, self-awareness. You got to understand the context. It's like we obsess over reading leadership material. We obsess over taking in knowledge. We should obsess over getting so good at learning how to read a room.
Yeah.
Because then we can have the self-awareness. It's like, the room shouldn't shift to you.
Yeah.
You got to shift you got to have the awareness to go like, hey, what is the room somber right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's,
Yeah. And I also think some people are such great big leaders that they walk in a room and the whole room shifts because of their aura, their presence. Right. And I think that it's okay just to be aware of that.
Yes.
It's okay for some people to go like, I know I intimidate people.
Right.
I know people are afraid of me, or I know that I've seen this with so many people. They're really big and they walk in and the whole room crumbles.
Yeah, shrinks.
And I think that you got to have the self-awareness to be like, oh,
I got to bring it back.
How do I help this person, host this person, love this person, take care of this person? I think self-awareness is going like, whoa, why are you shrinking? Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Just being aware. I think that we all have insecurities. We all have incredible deficiencies. And I think the more aware I am of them, I have the propensity to have an outburst of anger. Oh, I have a propensity to fill in the blank for whatever your weakness is. So overcome that. Mm-hmm. I think self-awareness just makes you in tune with your strengths and weaknesses.
Totally.
And that's a big one for me. And I think that's something that you guys are really lacking. I just can see it. Like what? Number 2 goes right in line. Servant leadership.
Great.
Add this summer. To me, the greatest leaders start with servitude. Servant leadership is their value. Servant leadership is their motto. They live to serve. To me, it's that whole thought. I live to give, not get. I'm looking to add value, not have value added to me. So it's the arrows of my leadership are pointed out, never in. And this, really, if you're egotistic, if you're narcissistic, you're going to struggle with this.
Yeah.
Because servant leadership flies in the face of that. And I was just with Louis Giglio the other day, and who I adore, and it was just his birthday. Happy birthday to Louis. And there's a gift on the way, Louis. If someone on your team is watching this, just know, Pastor Louis, there's a gift on the way. Okay, so we just, how do you not adore and respect this man?
Yes.
And the last 2 times I've been with him, he has encouraged me personally, pulled me almost like aside, and just as a big brother, mentor, like a father figure, has been encouraging me, go low. Go low. And he gives me examples of leaders that go low. And what he's saying to me is like, hey, all the pompous, all the stuff that the world says is success. And I'm so grateful to have somebody in my life encouraging me to being like, hey, serve,
right,
give, love, help, aid, bless, take care of others. Because leadership is this weird thing where I think we have to be really careful that there's so much affection that can come that you can drink that in.
You live off it.
Yeah. The thing about David.
Yeah.
These guys risk their life, go and get a cup And he could have drinking that in like, man,
Of course, go give me another
it's
one.
my guys.
Yeah.
You know, my dudes are loyal to me.
Yep.
And he pours it out. He's like, I can't drink that in. Think about the security.
Jeez.
Think about the self-awareness.
The self-awareness. Yeah.
Think about his ability to go like, man, I recognize what you did. And to honor you back. I'm not drinking that.
Wow.
So it's a sign of mutual respect.
Yep.
Servant leadership, the opposite to me is self-leadership, of course. It's just like, I want, everything's for me.
Yeah.
So we live in this culture like build a brand. Okay. If you're going to build a brand, what is the purpose?
Yeah.
What is the why? What is your motives? Which again, going back to this book, I love this book in dealing with prayer always deals with motives, intentions.
Yep.
When you can't get into God's presence and keep tainted motives, you cannot stand with
Right.
God. Every hidden agenda gets exposed.
Yep.
Like that. And so that's one of the things I love about reading God's word in the power of his presence. And so I think that we all have that lurking.
Totally.
You name somebody that's getting up today that is not going to deal with pride today. Get out of here. You're going to deal with it every day.
Yes.
So we need constant reminders to go, whoa, 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 you're a servant leader. One of the things I love about the motto we do with our volunteers before every service, and we say this motto, there's not been a time I haven't said that motto that I'm like, that's right. That's who you are.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
Yes.
Get your ego out of here.
Yep.
Today's about a different guy, not you. You're not here to perform. You're here to make this about Jesus. And I think that we need that as leaders to figure out bumpers in your life that are just like serve, give, go, love, help, bless, aid, add.
That's it. If I can just add to that motto part, there's a part right before it says to serve. It says humble myself and serve. If you don't humble yourself and you serve, you're not serving anybody except for yourself.
That's exactly right. And I think we've all been there. We've all done that. We've all missed it. You know, if you, it's like, what's that old song? You're so vain. I'll bet you think this song is about you, don't you? I think it's my first time singing on Leadership Leaning.
Wow.
But you're so vain. So if you think that, man, I'm struggling with my ego, or I'm struggling with, you should be thinking, this is me. This is attacking me right now. Because I know that I am in a good place when it's like, I can just admit it. Yeah, I got ego.
I missed it. Yep.
Yeah, I got pride. Yeah, I got self-motive. I got self-agenda. I think it's okay for people, for you to admit that in front of people, because everyone has it.
Right. And it's so disarming. As soon as you put something out, confess it, admit it, put it out in the open for people to see, it just disarms the whole thing.
Who are we kidding? We all want to be respected. We all want to be invited. We all want to be loved.
Right.
Judah was talking about this at VU conference. He was talking about this term delta. And he was using this term to describe the gap of like, I want to be seen as a holy man. He was telling the story about how he had this coffee with this guy, and this guy was like, wow, I've never been friends with a holy man. And he was kind of going off. And Judah was admitting, what is it about my ego that wants this guy to think that I am a holy man?
Wow.
And I want to present myself like I am a holy man.
Right.
And there's something I could play into that. Like, let me pray for you. You're the sinner. I'm the holy man. That's lurking in all of us.
Yeah.
And so is selfish leadership. So I think for this summer, let's try and be servant leaders.
Love it.
Let's write down ways we can serve and let's make life about others. It's not about us.
Yep.
And I always think the way that you know you figure this out is when you say somebody's name and everyone's just like, love them.
Yeah.
They're the best. Why do they love them? Because they've served them and helped them.
Yep.
No one says that about talent.
No one.
No one says that, wow, they're so gifted.
They have other things to say about them.
They have, but people love those that serve them.
Yep.
So I just think adds servant leadership. I mean, come on, let's go. Number 3, simple living. I'm into this right now. I'm on this kick. Give me my simple life. Give me you cannot overrate the power of living a simple life.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, what is a simple life? My family, my work, my to-do list, my budget. making my coffee at home. Like just
Yes.
finding ways to simplify your life. I think, it's like we can talk about weapons of mass distraction, or we can, if the devil can do anything in your life, it's get you to be busy and become a busybody and so on and so forth. But I think when I really understand the power of atomic habits, James Clear, when I look at the 7 habits of highly effective people from Covey, when I read anything of great leaders, John Maxwell, I'm reading again 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I just finished again. I listened to it 2 summers in a row. Audiobook, Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last. Cannot get enough of that book. Every one of them is always driving the same point. And that is, if you really boil it down, figure out what your mission is and don't veer from it.
That's it.
And so how do you just go, I don't need a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of fame and a whole bunch of stuff to make me happy? I am actually fueled by my simple life. You look at Warren Buffett, still in the same house.
Right. Simple.
Over in Ohio. And it's like that whole joke that you see on like memes and stuff. Like, how do you know someone's a millionaire versus a billionaire? A millionaire's got the Louis Vuitton wallet and the Gucci, and they're going to let you know.
Yeah.
But a billionaire has got like the beat up
cargos and the sandals
beat up shoes and the old 501
Tommy Bahama.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's a billionaire. I think there's something about graduating to a level of success where you're like, I don't need to be out at Catch. No offense to Catch, and I love Catch.
Right.
And it's really good food, and I love the scenery, and I love LA, and I love my city, and I love being on mission. But I'm just saying, I want my simple life.
Yeah.
And I think you should live a quiet life. I love what Bradley Cooper said recently. He said, travel the world, and show no one. Eat at the best restaurants.
Love that.
And tell no one. And I think there's something about, we live in such an overexposed culture. It's my biggest fear is that people would know so much about my life. Too much about my life.
Right.
And like there's something about mystery. There's something about the hidden.
Yes.
There's something about the quiet.
Yes.
So just live your simple life. I know that if you're trying to show people and present your life better than it really is, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I think you said it last podcast. People who are too good to be true,
they always are.
Yeah.
Period. Anybody in the history of my life that has been too good to be true has always proven themselves in time to be too good to be true. I've seen it time and time again. Wow. And I'm like, okay, hold on.
Whoa.
The people that make me say wow live a simple life.
It's heartbreaking when you see the videos of people meeting, people
you
you love on TV or something like that.
By the way, I just got to say it. You already know it, Leaner. Don't meet your heroes. Don't meet them.
They'll disappoint you.
Do not meet your heroes. Don't meet them. So for us, we want to just live a simple life.
I love that.
So it's like it's almost like leadership is so counterculture.
Yeah.
It's so counterintuitive.
Yes.
Because we think that people want us, going back to Judas Delta, to be a star. And we play into that.
Right.
Wow, you've been with them and you've been there and you go here and you've got a blah, blah. And we want to play into that. Don't do it.
Yep. Can't do it.
It's counter. It's go low, what Louis saying.
Yep.
It's like, no, you want to be impressed? Be impressed that I put my kids to bed every night and I pray over them and I pick up their dirty laundry.
Yeah.
And I get up early and make my coffee and I go to work.
Yes.
And I work and I try and work really hard.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
I love that. Oh, here's a quick little trivia for you.
Ooh, trivia.
Oh, maybe
let's go.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay,
I like trivia.
Yeah, okay, and we're going. It's kind of nerdy.
Okay.
So when Superman first came out as a comic,
you already lost me, but keep going.
No one would buy it.
Nobody.
Like it stayed on the shelf.
Okay.
Until they introduced Clark Kent, then it started to fly.
Because he was like a normal guy,
and no one could relate to Superman. This guy's perfect. I don't care about this guy. He's gonna win every time.
But Clark Kent.
But just a simple Clark Kent, go to work, write his things.
Great trivia.
This thing starts to go.
If you ever bring up Spider-Man, Superman, Star Wars, anything that my boys love, by the way, I just am like, tell me more. I'm all ears.
There you go.
Okay, number 4, see more before. This summer, I always think the summer's a great time to really get your pen and paper out and start writing vision down.
Ooh, I love this.
Start getting excited. Start dreaming. I think that we need creative leaders.
Yeah.
You know, to me, one of the things about creativity is like in our field, in our work, I'm a church leader. And Craig Rochelle, going back to Craig, he always says, to reach people no one's reaching, we have to do things no one's doing. So I think what he's saying to me, what I interpret that is, I got to be creative.
Yeah.
I need creativity. I really need creativity in my parenting. I need creativity in my marriage. I need creativity in my workspace. I need creativity in leadership. I got to be creative.
Yeah.
And I think leaders always see more, and they see more before anybody else can see it. The
really
leader
good.
can. And I think that's the privilege and the burden of being a leader, is that you can fast forward the tape. And so I call this, there's a biblical term that we use called prophetic. You get this sense, this inclination of image of like, okay, this is the direction. This is kind of where I feel it's going. I feel like it's got a shift. There's transition, there's movement, there's this, it's like if you keep doing the same things, that's the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
You think you're going to get different results. So it's old leadership jargon, but we know it to be true. What got you here won't get you there. So I need to stop. I need to pause. I think this is so good about leadership. Clearing the deck, getting pen and paper and going, let's dream.
Yeah.
And let's see more. Let's see more. We've got a lot of different moving parts in our organization. And I got to see more before even the people I've appointed to lead them and empower them to lead it. I got to help dream.
Right.
I got to help see it. And it's the thing about vision. If you can see it, you can achieve it.
Yep.
If you can see it, you can have it. So I think the great thing about being a visionary, which I love that about leaders are leaders carve out space.
Yes.
They're like, I can see it. We're going to do this. We're going to go. We're going to achieve. We're going to accomplish. We're going to build. We're going to make it happen. And so because I can see it, I can bring everybody into my vision.
Right.
This is Walt Disney. This is Steve Jobs. This is Kanye West with Gap. This is leadership.
Yeah.
See more before.
Yeah.
And so I want to encourage you this summer, add that, get vision. And I think vision is that thing that you got to be in a place of openness.
Yeah.
You got to be hungry for it. You got to be excited. Sometimes vision slaps you upside the head, but a lot of times it's like I was looking.
Yeah.
I was open. And so because I wanted to see more, I saw it.
I feel like vision, people might like mystify it and go like it's an epiphany or like it is this moment of aha. But vision it's a discipline. It's sitting down,
Absolutely.
Dreaming,
Absolutely.
figuring things out,
Absolutely.
reminding yourself of your goal, your long-term goals, and then working backwards.
That's right. Next one, number 5, silence is golden. And I like this one a lot because I keep thinking about, there was a friend of mine that got canceled and they were wanting to retaliate. They were wanting to, put some stuff out. And another friend of, extreme notoriety, we'll say it that way, was like, I was raised that we don't say anything. And so this person's grappling with, a bombardment of just total, an onslaught of hate. And here's this other person who has been through so many storms, so many issues, and just says, in my family, we were raised to say nothing. And it makes me think of, I have a friend who got canceled a few years ago, a pastor that got canceled. And, which by the way, let's just talk about cancel culture for a second.
Please.
Jesus was constantly canceled.
Yes.
So I was thinking like, anybody who's trying to avoid it,
it's going to come your way.
Yeah, it's like, and by the way, have all the arrogance you want. Call me when you get canceled.
Right.
And then let's talk.
Yes.
Because you realize, if I live by their praise, I'll die by their criticism.
That's right.
So I don't live for crowds. Cancel culture, by the way, is a sign to me you're probably doing something right.
Yeah. Yes.
If you're ticking people off,
yes,
it means you're probably hitting your aim.
In context, yes.
In context, you're probably hitting your aim.
Yeah, totally.
If you're hitting your bullseye,
yes,
that means there's going to be once you decide, you divide.
Yes.
So I cannot be a leader with decision
Yep.
and not expect division.
It's going to polarize no matter what.
Yeah, and by the way, if you try and please everybody, you're not going to please anybody.
Yep.
So I'm fine being canceled.
It's really good.
And you got to go through that.
Yep.
But this leader was canceled a few years ago as pastor, and he had made what some would say would be a lapse of judgment, not in morals. And so he basically came to the point where he put out a statement. And he told me later, my biggest regret is putting out the statement.
Wow.
I wish that I would have said nothing, because it all blew over.
Yep.
And everybody that knows his character was like, yeah, right, that's not who he is. And the statement now lives forever.
Wow.
And I just think, I go to that proverb, even a fool looks wise when he is silent. You don't have to say anything. And we live in this culture, it's like, what do you got to say? Say something.
Right.
I always think, like, if you're using your Instagram story to talk, it's a sign that there's things lurking.
Yes.
That you got, like, and I watch it from the world, from all over, from every walk of life, every leadership background, every field, every industry. You see it in rap wars.
Yes.
You see, like, I was watching this clip yesterday, and it's like, the problem with hip hop today has the violence that has been attached to hip hop might have killed hip hop.
Right.
Think about that. But what is it? It's retaliation.
Yep.
Saying something.
I'll get the last word.
I'm gonna you never get the last word.
Yep.
I just think, you know what? Silence is golden.
Yeah. It's really
Now,
good.
others would say silence is violence.
Right.
And so there is a time.
You say more with what you don't say.
Yeah. I think there's a time, and you got to. Everybody has to.
That's such a slippery slope. It's the crowd.
It's all in context.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we dealing with here?
Yeah.
What's going on? And then I think you need a sounding board to say, should I say something?
Yes.
Should I put out a statement? Should I retaliate? And I think that is much more calculated and has the nuance of wisdom.
Yeah.
As opposed to flesh.
Right. That's
pride,
that's more principle driven.
hurt. That's principle
more character.
Driven. Exactly. So I just think, hey, just all leaders, silence is golden.
Okay, can I say one thing?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like this is kind of breaking the silence thing, but I was listening to the Dissect podcast, and if you got to listen to this podcast, I'm going to put you on. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
And he was breaking down these lyrics, and one of the lyrics was silent and listen is the same word.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, in action, it is, because you
True.
can't talk and listen.
Yeah.
But it's also the same letters and the same.
Yeah.
You just move it around.
Right.
And I was like, that is a bar.
Which, by the way, let me just say this real fast. I have been listening to the new Kendrick album. Now, I listen to it on Apple Music because I cannot stand cuss words in music. I cannot stand profanity in music. So Apple Music is the only platform that edits it, you know?
I found the hack on Spotify to find all the clean music.
Stop.
Yes.
I did not know that it existed on Spotify.
Yes.
But from a production, art, talent perspective, Kendrick Lamar is in a space I have never felt what I feel listening to his music. It is insane, his talent and his genius.
Maybe the best to do it.
The other day, we went to the movies to watch a kid's movie, and Kendrick Lamar was in our movie theater with his family. Were you there with us?
I was there.
And so I was saying to my kids, your kids just watched a movie with top 3
lyricists of all time.
5 rappers of all time.
Yes.
And I just, like, the movie's playing. I don't even what were we seeing?
No clue.
I don't even know. But I just kept looking over my shoulder. That's Kendrick Lamar. I can't get over it. Okay, number 6. Stick to the plan. Like, come on, man. Stop talking about Kendrick Lamar. Stick to the plan. This to me is mission. Stick to the plan until God tells you the plan has changed, or until the field and the industry has changed completely. I think even like method, the field that you're in, the industry that you're in, the method needs to be fluid.
Yeah.
I'm not married to the method. The method's always got to be open to criticism, open to, another angle. But as far as a mission goes, stick to the plan. And I think, culture's changing so fast.
Yes.
People are changing so quickly that I think sometimes people lose mission because of all the swirling that's around them.
Yep.
I think this summer it's a great time to double down on your mission.
Great.
And just be like, hey, you know what? They've changed. A lot of cultures changed. But one thing I'm about is the things I wrote down 5 years ago.
Yeah.
7 years ago, 8 years, 10 years, whatever it was. Stick to the plan.
Love it.
Stick to the mission. And I think creativity will come out of that.
Yes.
So I think we get so bombarded, so overwhelmed by all the changes. What brings comfort to me is the mission.
Yes. 100. It's the consistent thing.
That's the anchor.
Yep.
That's the stability. That's the lighthouse. Oh, that's right. Change is swirling. Nothing's changed.
Yep.
So what's the stability in your organization? Mission.
So good.
I think we got to double down on mission right now. This is my big mantra. Talk about the mission, preach the mission, love the mission, put the mission out. Just make the mission the main guy.
Yeah.
Because everyone, it's the whole thing. No one will give themselves to a what, but people will die for a why. That's the why.
Yeah.
And if the why is clear, if the why gets cloudy for people, they're out.
Right. Talk about Simon Sinek.
That's it.
Yep.
Start with why. So that's a big one. And the last one, number 7, say you're sorry. 2 S's right there at the end. Say you're sorry this summer. I think it's a great time in the summer before you get ready for the fall. The fall we know is going to boom. It's going to be boombastic. It's going to be fantastic. That was a little Shaggy lyric for you. We call him Mr. Boom. I'm going to sing.
They have no clue.
Yeah. These are kids. How old are you guys? April, you're 23, 17, 23. My God.
No clue.
We're very old. Okay. But say you're sorry to me is one of the greatest leadership qualities of a leader. Admitting fault.
Yeah.
Admitting wrong. I have gotten it wrong so many times. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Wrong attitude, wrong response, just wrong judgment call. I've seen people in the wrong light and then discovered, it's not who they are. I mean, you use the word humility. I'll use the word security here. You cannot be a great leader and not be secure, comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
And if I'm comfortable in my own skin, I could admit wrong all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Missed it. Want to apologize. Didn't have the right action. Didn't have the right, I'm sorry. I did this. I said that. Whatever it is for you. But I have seen my apology go so far with people. I have seen it wash them from their bitterness.
Yes.
And maybe where they were frustrated and upset in their it's just, no, we're good. And so I think it's so amazing to me. I think a lot of leaders are waiting for people to come, bring closure, and apologize. But the bridge that you can build with others is when you start first.
Yeah.
And you first start with, hey, I gotta own this.
Yep.
I gotta just come clean. I gotta say, I could have handled that better. I recognize now when my emotions are now gone, I can recognize, this is probably 2 or 3 things I would have said differently, done differently. I just think it just goes far.
Yeah.
It's what I call attractive leadership. People are not attracted again to gifts and talents. They're attracted to the totality of who you are.
Yeah.
You gotta think leadership's holistic.
Mm-hmm.
It's body, soul, spirit. It's mind, will, emotions. Leadership is the whole being.
Yeah.
It's never like, how do they talk? How are they with money?
Right.
How are they at home? It's never. It's holistic.
Yeah.
So holistically, I've got a few areas I'm working on. How about you?
Totally.
So I'm not gonna get it every time.
Right.
Go back and say you're sorry.
Absolutely. I find, I think that I've probably had conversations with you where I was going in the conversation like, I got this thing in my head. I'm going to say this or something like that. Who knows? It's so immature. And then you own it, and it's not yours to own. It's mine to own.
Yeah, right. It always
and
goes
just
back.
Wait, everything I thought I was going to say, it's all.
In fact, I just got confronted a couple weeks ago by one of my closest friends in the world. And this person said to me, "You hurt my feelings." And I said, "What?" He's like, "You hurt me." Bop, bop, bop. I was like, I am so sorry. And as they're apologizing, it's like, as they're talking to me about this, I'm like, I can't apologize enough.
Yeah.
It's not my motive, not my intention. I can see where that makes sense. And I just think it takes a lot of humble pie to be a leader.
Yes.
Just if you want to be a leader, sit down. Here's some pie. It's called, what are we serving today, guys? Humble pie. And the leader that refuses to indulge and to eat that, you're not going to make it.
Jeez.
Just a heads up. Because he gives grace to the humble. And he opposes the proud. Guess who else is? It's not just God that opposes the proud. It's people.
Yep.
And who are we in the game with? We want favor with Luke 2:52. We want favor with God and man.
That's right.
Leadership Lean In. Morning edition. Cheers, mateys.
Cheers.